How you doing, gardeners? I got a great video for you today. Obviously, I don't have very many of these guys, but you're probably wondering, what are these little things? And it's called Sweet Thing Prairie Cherry. Now, we picked these up. They come out of Canada. We picked this up from some fellow growers and took quite a bit of coordination. We stored them in our shed over the winter. Gave them a little bit of water, didn't we, Delia? Just a little bit to kind of keep the roots wet. And here they are. They're all starting to come out. Now, prairie cherries kind of come with two different planting spacings. One of them is for a hedge type. One of them's for more of a bush type. We're going to go with the bush type. Get more greenery per plant. So we're going to go, it says 5 to 8 feet. So I'm going to go with 7-foot spacing in my line. Now, if you notice, we put down some woven fabric here. This variety, I just want to make sure it came out, that is called Sweet Thing. That's what this variety is. I don't have experience with it, but it was provided to us to help us try to develop this cultivar, develop the market for this cultivar amongst the cherry growers here in Kansas. So we have that. So the first thing I want to do is I want to go ahead and start burning holes in my woven fabric. Now, I don't want to come back and re-burn these holes again. So with the plant in it. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to burn the holes kind of generous. And then I'm going to turn right around and we're going to put plastic in. And then something underneath the hole to prevent the weeds from coming up after we plant each little prairie cherry. So this way it's encapsulated with some plastic around it. We don't have to worry about the weeds competing with this little cherry bush. If we treat them right, we can really have some really nice produce coming out of here. Some really nice fruit. So we went ahead and went with woven fabric because we wanted the longevity. Evidently, from what I understand about prairie cherries, is weeds are your enemy. So we want to go ahead and make sure that we take care of that right away. Plus, the added heat will make these guys just take right on off. So stay with us. We'll go ahead and start measuring out every 7 feet. We'll put another prairie cherry plant. So we'll see how we do this year. Hopefully we'll do okay and we can add more prairie cherries on our farm as we get going. But what a neat extra fruit to have at the farmer's market for people to get fresh cherry pies right off of our farm. Sweet Thing is our prairie cherry. That's number 2. There, you got it. Okay. Now we're burning these holes because we don't want the fabric, if we cut them, it could possibly fray. So we don't want it to be frayed. All right, let's go ahead. One more. Let's go ahead. I'm using a Benzomatic TS 4000, I think, but this.
Why is that one good?
Because you can tip it upside down. The other ones you can't do, so make sure you can invert it. All right, so you're going to go with that. You got it right where you want? Got it where you want it? Okay, pull it. Nice big hole. There we go. I have room for one more down here, but that's for another day. We just have our 5 plants, so we're going to go with that. So Delia, tell everybody the downfall of having woven fabric up against your plants.
Right here on the edge, it's very hard because of the melted plastic.
Yeah.
And if you have it very close to the edge, as the winds come, this starts flapping up and down, and basically it starts cutting into the plant.
Yeah, we see that with any plant, right? I mean, whether we're using our, because we like using woven fabric also with our yellow squash, zucchini, and all that, but we just said we can't, it's too much of a risk here. And I don't want to have to come back in and burn so close to a live plant next year. Now, maybe we oversized this quite a bit, and it's very possible that we did. But with the...
I think as it grows, that base is going to get bigger.
It should get bigger anyway. So we've kind of bought ourselves a little bit of space. And once the plant gets established and everything, but we have a very nice weed barrier here, at least 30 inches on each side of that plant. So that's the big thing right there, is it just helps that out. So we just got to get in here, make sure, especially these hot days, we get over here and we water our prairie cherries, and then we will get our drip lines. Once the tomatoes start coming in, then we'll have more of a regular watering schedule just with the tomatoes. So we'll do some of that, but we'll have to figure out. I'd imagine there's not a whole lot of fertilizer requirements for these in the first year, but I will find out without me telling you, because I'm not positive on that. But I just don't think it needs a lot. Most trees don't really require a lot of fertilizer requirements their first year, and it certainly probably wouldn't be the same as my tomatoes. So that's something I got to be careful of, that we don't come out here and start pumping in a whole bunch of nitrogen and turns right around and burn up our prairie cherries. But we can get them some water, and or just run a supplemental line along the bottom and guarantee that we're doing okay. But we got them all planted, didn't we, Delia?
Yeah.
So that's you're just straightening out our plastic from the wind.
I think the wind that we had blew off the dirt from here, and it loosened up the plastic.
Okay. Well, she's going to fix that. Folks, if you like these types of videos, do us a favor, hit that like and subscribe. Come grow with us.